So today's lesson, we're going to talk about a different phenomena on this graph here that I think that you need to be aware of. I'm going to use just a hypothetical story that I'm going to completely make up out of my own head that really applies to nobody at all, okay? So let's say, for instance, there's a comedian and an actor, okay? They've worked together over the years, maybe not together, but they definitely know each other. They've interacted over the years, and there's nothing new here, right? So let's just say we're at some kind of an event, and the comedian cracks a little joke about the actor's wife. Little joke, no big deal.
Here it comes.
This is part of the business. So it's just a little bald-faced joke that shouldn't cause any reaction. This is fucking around at a 1 or maybe even a 0, right? But all of a sudden, the actor responds with a level 10, which the comedian finds out.
Here it comes.
Uh-oh, Richard.
Right here. So then you would feel like maybe the gradient line should go something like this. But there's an underlying factor here, okay? The comedian fucked around at a level 1. No big deal. But what the actor mistook was that, say his wife had been fucking around at a 9.
Dirty hoe.
Right? So that fucking around gets added to the comedian's activities, putting them at a fuck around level of 10.
Here it comes.
Okay? And that would explain the find out of 10. When the actions of you or somebody else, maybe at a level 1 fuck around, get added with the actions of another, that's called a fuck around entanglement. And what can happen with an entanglement like that is what it can happen is it will rock the axis here, the fuck around axis. All right. And what can happen is if this happens to you repeatedly over time, it can cause you to become jaded. Jaded. Okay. So just remember that sometimes it may not be your actions that cause the find out, but maybe your actions are entangled with the actions of another, which will rock the fuck around axis, causing you to become jaded.
You're goddamn right.
I hope that this lesson is helpful. Thank you.
I'm a flight risk. I don't think they're ready for the shit.
America. 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 Fuck yeah. Coming again to save the motherfucking day. Yeah, America. Fuck yeah. Freedom is the only way. Yeah. Terrorists, your game is through. 'Cause now you have to answer to America. Fuck yeah. So lick my blood and suck on my bones.
These people just don't get it. They really don't. You're not going to believe this video. I don't even want to waste your time with an introduction, but if I gave it to you verbatim, YouTube would hit me with a copyright violation. But you know how we often say that Trump supporters are nearing the find out portion of the program? They really are.
It's good for the geese. It's always good for the gander. Irish sailor.
And they won't really realize it until it smacks them in the face, because honestly, they lack the intellect to understand what we're saying when we tell them, you guys have f***ed around and now you're about to find out.
It's funny because it's true.
So watch this video.
We first met Mario back in February when he was seriously considering a vote for Donald Trump. He was undecided, with previous votes for George W. Bush, Obama, Hillary Clinton, and Biden. At the last minute, he broke for Kamala Harris. But today, he's not upset about the results.
I'm kind of like more happy than upset. Why? Because Donald Trump is going to help the country with the economy.
Are you sure about that?
The whole household is happy. Mireya and their 29-year-old son, Mario Jr., did vote for Trump.
Initially, I will say I did not agree with him. And then I started seeing that he was not afraid to speak his mind. And I noticed that he was not scared to say what he felt, regardless of what people would say. And I think I respect that about him.
So you liked his kind of brashness, his personality.
Yeah, I would say yes.
They're not alone. Across the country, Donald Trump made huge inroads with Latino voters. According to NBC exit polls, 55% of Latino men nationwide voted for Trump.
God damn it! You can't make this shit up!
A 19-point jump from 2020. Among Latina women like Mireya, an 8-point gain. And while Vice President Harris won a slight majority of the Latino vote overall, Trump increased his support 14 points from the last election. The top issue among Latino voters, like it is for the Alvarez family, the economy.
It's fiction. We made up this one. We made it up. Not this time. Wrong. Not this time. Not this time. You're wrong. Not this time. It never happened.
Mario and Mireya both crossed the border illegally as teenagers, but became citizens under President Ronald Reagan's amnesty. They see themselves as different from migrants crossing the border today. In what way do you think they're different?
The people that are coming here are the criminals. You know, the ones that did something bad in their country, they're running away from their law.
Despite having close family members who are undocumented,
Migrant invasion!
they don't believe they'll end up in Trump's crosshairs. When you hear Trump promise mass deportations, do you worry about them?
Yes and no.
Huh?
Because the ones that I know, they're doing good. They're not breaking any laws.
I believe he's going to start deporting all the bad people.
You're so dumb. You are really dumb. For real.
So my friend Tabitha Speaks made a video on here where she was basically calling ICE on Latino Trump supporters. I thought the video was funny. As empathetic as I am, I'm finding it hard to be empathetic if these people or their family members are affected by this mass deportation that Donald Trump and his people are talking about. On one hand, they're saying, we like Donald Trump because he speaks his mind. On the other hand, they're saying, we don't think our family members will be affected by this because even though they're here and they're undocumented, they're not committing any crimes or anything.
Keep telling yourself that, darling.
They're not criminals. They're calling your family members criminals for being here. They will be affected by this. This is the find out portion that we talk about. This is when we say elections have consequences. This is what we are talking about. And you know the saddest part about this? These people said they came here illegally. They got amnesty through Ronald Reagan. This is where proximity to whiteness excites some Latinos and black people. They're willing to turn their back on people in the same situation that they were once in because they feel closer to white Republicans by being legally here. There's not a Latino person who can say 100% that they won't be affected by this if they weren't born here and their parents weren't born here, because I've heard these people say we're rounding up anchor babies, their parents, their kids. We don't care.
I knew it. I'm surrounded by assholes.
If you think there's no chance you're going to be affected by this because you got amnesty through Ronald Reagan, your cousins or brothers and sisters are here, undocumented, but they're not going to be affected because they're not committing any crimes, have you not been listening to the guy you voted for because you said he speaks his mind?
You big dummy.
Are you serious right now? Again, I'm having a hard time having empathy for them. I feel bad for kids who are going to be affected by this, but your brother, your sister, your aunt, your uncle, your cousin who couldn't talk you out of this crap because they couldn't seem to articulate the facts to you, I'm having a hard time having empathy for them. When the find out portion happens and these people are affected by it, don't call me. Don't call me. I'm sorry. I just won't be on the front lines for you.
It's definitely a no for me, dog.
Oh, look at all you proud Trump voters sitting there like you just discovered fire or basic literacy. but you backed a guy who could barely finish a sentence. But hey, neither can you. It's like the blind leading the blind, except the blind here are all wearing MAGA hats and screaming about fake news. A man who's on his third wife, pay off a porn star, and dodges taxes like it's a sport. That's your role model. That's the guy you want your kids to look up to. Remember, Johnny, it's not lying if you just refuse to admit the truth. Parenting level genius. And don't even get me started on values. Do you remember January 6th? Yeah, your little cosplay revolution. You stormed the Capitol like it was the final boss in a video game. All while your fearless leader was watching from his golden throne, probably tweeting with one hand and eating a cheeseburger with the other. He didn't join you. He didn't lead you. He let you do all the dirty work while he sat back and laughed. You weren't patriots. You were pawns in his ego trip. And Roe versus Wade, oh, you're proud of that, aren't you? You cheered while your daughters lost their rights. But we're pro-life, you scream. Yeah, right up until the baby's born. Then it's good luck, kid. Hope you enjoy growing up in a country where a reality TV star sets the moral standards. You're not pro-life. You're pro-control. And you gave it to a man who's closer to Jeffrey Epstein than any of us are comfortable acknowledging. Yeah. That's your guy. I barely knew him, with photos and flight logs, and now recordings that tell a very different story. And you still have the audacity to act like you're on some moral high ground. You supported a man found liable for sexual assault, a man who brags about grabbing women like it's sport. That's your hero. That's the guy you want shaping the future. Hey, little Timmy, respect women. Unless you're rich, then just go grab him by the... Oh, and now you're out here buying his shoes and his Bibles like that's gonna get you closer to the promised land. Meanwhile, you're out here in the streets screaming that someone else is eating the pets, but look at yourselves. You've already swallowed every ounce of dignity and common sense, but we're owning the libs. Oh, you're owning something, all right, your own self-respect. You're like a cult, but instead of drinking Kool-Aid, you're chewing up every ridiculous conspiracy and calling it patriotism. And you really think he's your savior? You act like he's your best friend. Newsflash, the only person Trump is friends with is Trump. You're not even his backup plan. He'd throw you under the bus faster than he'd sign another shady real estate deal. But here you are, defending him like he's the second coming of Lincoln, while he's out here playing golf and chumming it up with dictators and Epstein wannabes. So let's be real. Trump just didn't con you, he branded you. You're walking around like a billboard, one of the biggest grifts in American history. You're not just drinking the Kool-Aid, you're bathing in it, bottling it, and selling it at your church potluck. Congratulations, you become a product of the ultimate scam, and you don't even get a commission. Here's to you, Trump voters. The only thing bigger than his lies is your blind loyalty. You're not just Marx and the cons, you're the ones funding it, sharing it, and somehow still thinking you're winning. Spoiler alert, you're not.
Shit just got real. Giancarlo, come on. You know better. You know so much better than what you are spouting right now. Our community is going to go through pain. Our community is going to go through cruelty. That is not what anyone voted for. And in fact, I will tell the American electorate, if the administration, if the incoming Trump administration goes through this, here's the people that they're going to go after. They're going to go after your kids' classmates. They're going to go after your delivery guy. They're going to go after the people who take care of your kids. They're going to go after the people who work in restaurants. They're going to go after the business owners in your community. They're going to go after the people who work and who own the farmers markets that you love going to on weekends. This is going to be a snapshot of incredible pain and cruelty. And this is, again, they tried to do a semblance of this in 2017, and we saw the backlash. So, you know, I'm saying if this is what you all think you have the mandate for, go for it. You're going to see very quick and very horrifically the kind of backlash you're going to get. I don't think people voted for a cost of almost $100 billion that you all are going to spend if, in fact, you are going to deport the 12 to 15 million, some people in your party think it's 20 million, undocumented immigrants that are here. Go after the criminals, absolutely. And in fact, that's what every administration has done.
You're goddamn right.
But can you actually tell me that Trump's CEO friends are not going to go crazy when he goes after the undocumented immigrants who actually pick fruits and vegetables? They're going to say, what the hell are you doing with my workforce? This is an administration that has no clue what is about to happen. They are clueless in terms of the real world effects of something like this. They are clueless in terms of real immigration policy and how it affects communities and what the actual solutions are. Giancarlo, you know very well that mass deportation is not a solve for immigration, and we need a solve.
Started pouring Remy cause I'm getting sick of hints. If I write a book about my life, don't know where I begin. Couple L's thrown at me, I took them on the chin. Used to see me taking losses, they surprised a nigga win. The longer I live, I'ma lose myself. And if I had choose me or you, then I'ma choose myself. A higher power in mind is worth me more than wealth. Hit a couple licks on your brody, I gotta use my scalp. Foreign belt wrapped around my jeans, it's hard to hold my pants.